Well, here's the first CD player, the Sony CDP-101. It's digital, as you can see. I just decided to make a short video because I guess CDs are coming back. I still use, my Technics SLP-350 CD player, which is maybe 1.5 times wider than this, but maybe like that tall. That's in another one of my videos, and one of my older videos that actually, ironically, has terrible sound. But that one, I still enjoy using that with my CDRs from the CDs I backed up 25, 30 years ago and then got rid of the originals about 15 years ago. So I don't have a lot of pressed CDs. Factory dyed. I just got this in, oddly enough. Mono mix of Surrealistic Pillow, MoFi. And I grabbed this and then I realized, does this even have a CD layer? Because it's a SACD, but it does. So we'll use this in a second here. But you're not going to see it or hear it playing, because these seem to have a common problem. That is that this won't open or has issues opening. I've never had that issue with this one, but I've also never been able to get any sound out of this either. It goes, it plays, the counter moves, but nothing. It's silent here and at the line level. So unfortunately, you'll get to see this thing in action, but won't be doing much else but showing you. So you see it has to think. There, you hear that? There's plenty of ways online listed to fix that. I don't know how simple it is, but there's no fixes I've seen that will tell you how to get sound out of this thing. I mean, get it fixed so that sound will come out. If it was working, I can tell you in 2 seconds how to get sound out of it. There's a lot of videos that you can probably find online that go over the various quirks. Like this doesn't have a stop button, you see. I don't have the remote, but I believe the stop is either on there, or maybe to stop it you just hit pause is what they wanted you to do. Or maybe it's this. I don't remember. I don't want to mess with it. Or, oh, no, it's reset. Yeah, reset is the stop. So that's interesting. But hey, cool that it is playing. I mean, it's an SACD. It's the two most disparate 5-inch disc digital technologies, and they both they're working in harmony here. So the reason that I really wanted to get this player originally, of course I did think maybe this will be fixable, but it's not. I thought it was very cool that it came with all of this. So I'm just going to show you all this really quick. I've got a ton of paperwork. Let me put these things aside. So this is the manual, and it's actually, there's not much to it. There's only, how many pages here? Oh, 9, 11, yeah, 13 pages plus the specs. 12 if you take out the remote info. Oh, 11 if you take out the remote info. So not much to that manual, but it came with the warranty card that you fill out. It came with, I don't know why there's this punch card for the serial number, but they would come with that. These used to come, all stereo equipment, home electronics would come with this, because they wanted to know who's buying our stuff. This is market research. They ask your marital status, how much you make, what sort of work you do, your age, all that sort of interesting thing. And then they could figure out, oh, teenagers are mostly buying this product or this, which I got to be honest, this is not a great system, because let's say it was teenagers mostly buying it. Let's say that this was a Discman and a lot of teenagers were buying it. They usually don't fill these things out. So you probably they were under the impression that everyone buying their stuff was a middle to upper class person with a great job. So I don't know. This is cardboard, and this came with it too. And as you can see, it's sort of a facsimile of a CD. It's even got the Japanese version of the CBS Sony logo. Oh, I forgot. Then on the back, this is the actual size of the compact disc. So that's pretty cool. Let people know, because people had no idea. Maybe they'd seen a digital disc like this, but it was a laser disc at that time. Those have been out for 3, 4, 5 years. And those, of course, were 12-inch size of a vinyl record. This important safeguards info, I remember these coming with every single piece of Sony gear ever, and they have these cartoonish little faces of the people in them. I always like that one. It's not on here because it's not a cassette deck, but there's one where it shows a guy with a comically big cassette Q-tip swabbing a cassette deck, like the outside of the cassette deck. This is interesting. This is the service manual, right? Look how thick that is. That's thick already. And then there was even this supplement that came with it. And I have to think at some point there was even more supplements. I don't know. So that's that. And then finally, this was in there. Now, this is from Broadcast Engineering Magazine, March 1985, on improving performance. So 3 years, this thing, well, maybe 2 years this thing has been on the market. And it's about various CD players, not just the 101. And it does talk about something that's an issue with a lot of early CD players that people don't realize. I'm not saying all CDs, but the early ones, where they couldn't get the chips or anything. So the signal would be delayed 22 microseconds, I believe micro, between the channels. Okay, that's this section, conversion delay, because they only had a single DA chip, and so they would delay the signal to each, and it would, you know, basically be going back and forth, running signal. It's 11 microseconds, then difference between the two, and that causes high frequency shift and phase issues. And these guys are saying in the article that, you know, at home, not the end of the world, but that's going to be a big problem going out over the air, so you probably want to do something about that. Delay the one channel so that they end up in sync. Not bad advice, but it's cool that this, whoever had this, saved this thing and put that article in for safekeeping, and it probably applies to other CD players, as I said. There's a Toshiba mention in there, a Fisher. So one thing that I recently learned, so I figured I might as well, when I make the video, show it. Right here, I was reading Stereophile magazine, and if you have the chance, go online in their archives. They've got their whole history with this player from, I think, the first pre-show report when it was a vertically mounted, oriented unit, through their first review, and then right up through several follow-ups and record companies saying this is going to be a disaster or this is going to be great. And in those, they note that their original unit did not have the accessory connector that we've all, if you're a fan of the 101, seen and heard about. Theirs did not have that, and that this was actually a switch. I don't know if you can see that anti-shock. In that place was actually a switch on and off for whether you wanted the unit to beep when the remote was used. So you would tell, if you had it to on, whenever you hit a button on the remote, this would let out a little quiet beep, like, yes, you know, got it, understood, that computes, I'm in process, or whatever. By the time these things got really into big production, they decided, you know what, we're just going to keep that on all the time, is the sense that I get from the Stereophile article. So they replaced it with anti-shock, which, you know, it's not like you're using this thing in the car, but still not a bad thing to have on, especially with early CDs and error correction, and you never know how that's going to go. So this is from June of '83, and I think the first players came to America in January of '83. So definitely one of the earlier ones, and they'd already made those two changes. So I just wanted to quickly make that video and show everyone the CDP-101, the beginning of the CD revolution, and it's an interesting player. I wish I had one that worked to see how it sounded, but I'm happy with the player I have. I don't listen to CDs enough to need one, but it is certainly cute. So maybe someday I'll come up with one that works, or I'll find a Sony authorized dealer that's been frozen in time for 40 some years, and they've still got all the parts and know-how, and oh, we can fix that for you in 10 minutes. So you never know, but hope you enjoyed.